Yeah.
The movie series or whatever. So it was very popular.
It was. Those were good times back then.
Oh, they're the best times. Like our kids will never understand
I know.
the 80s and the 90s.
I was listening to, what was it, a podcast or watching a video or something like that, and the host said, just think about this. In 20 years, you will be begging that you were back 20 years prior in this exact moment. So cherish it. I'm like, that's true, because if I go back 20 years, 2004, yeah, it was fun. It was fun.
Yeah, 2004, Eminem was probably the number one rapper, right? The 2001, 2003.
Yeah, 2000.
Yeah, he was still
50 Cent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tiger Woods was kicking ass
Yeah.
on the PGA Tour.
Yeah.
What else? The Lakers were winning like
course.
championships. It was good times. I mean, at least how I remembered it.
Yeah.
Right now, like even the NBA, I can't watch it anymore.
I haven't seen a basketball game in a while either.
I've been looking into alternative sports, like other types of sports. Did you know that? Have you seen ESPN? That they have like what's that game?
Horseshoe?
Not the was similar to horse.
Oh, cornhole?
Cornhole,
They
yeah.
have cornhole championships.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you got to be in really good shape to do that.
Yeah.
That's what I heard. It's like
Really?
impossible. No. Not at all.
No, man. You just sit
Like
there.
it's like bowling.
Yeah.
It's even less physical than bowling. At least the hacky sack is what? I don't know.
Not even a pound.
2
Like,
ounces
yeah.
or something? Bowling balls, at least 7. Adults, 13.
Yeah. The other day I saw talking about bowling a meme of the best celebration of bowling. So this guy throws a perfect strike, and then he looks at the camera.
I saw this.
He has a pocket, but the pocket covers the nip area. So he goes like this, uncovers it, and shakes his pec and puts it back.
Wow. Wow.
Crazy.
Gotta glam it up. Glam it
That's
up.
wild. All right, so
What's the game?
Matt chose WCW versus NWO.
Damn.
Matt,
I should have worn my NWO hat.
You should have.
I should.
Why did you choose this, Matt?
Why did I choose
I mean, it's
this?
not like we have a big collection, but
No, I know. We have like 3 or 4 to choose from.
You know, well, let me tell you something, brother. Big Hulk Hogan fan all my life. I used to go to the live wrestling matches, I heard, according to my parents, when I was like a newborn, like 2 years old. Also, just kind of, I mean, obviously 2 is not newborn, but from when I was a newborn, still to today, I watch. And, you know, I was an 80s kid, and it was Hulk Hogan, training, the prayers, the vitamins, the whole business. I mean, any time that a live wrestling event was in town, wherever we were living, without question, we would always go. Still to this day.
that is awesome.
You still go to
I
the.
still go, yeah. The last couple we went to is now we've got the 3 generations of Wolves. My son, myself, my dad, we go. And it's great. We just saw Hulk Hogan at his beach shop in November. We drove to Tampa, St. Pete, Clearwater.
Get out of here.
Yeah, he had this, you know, he's got the karaoke thing every week, and he was there, and
So is that something you learned from? Like your dad was like a big fan, and then you kind of
yeah,
like
huge. So my dad's born and raised in Miami Beach, and he used to say that they had, you know, ringside seats at the Topo, so the Theater of Performing Arts, now the Fillmore or whatever.
right.
It was $2 for, I don't know how, per show or a week or a month or whatever it was. Ringside seats, and they would go all the time. That was before like the
Before it
whole
got huge,
WWF
yeah.
and Vince Jr.
So
and
it
all
was
that.
more like an underground thing at the time, or not really
Yeah,
underground,
I mean,
but
it was still mainstream.
probably-
It didn't have. It was still territorial
right.
before Vince
Right.
McMahon Jr. kind
Right.
of took it over and,
Right.
and consolidated all the different territories. And he had bought the company from his dad, Vince Sr. And yeah, I mean, I've been a big wrestling fan for a long time. Still watch everything. Still pay attention to it. It's just one of those weird things about me. So, for those reasons, I chose.
We have chosen.
this game.
Yeah, there you go. And if we could get it going, we could get it turned on.
What happened? This never happens.
Is that plugged in?
Yeah, it is.
You didn't blow it. You didn't blow it hard enough.
It's,
Gotta give it another blow.
it's on the right input, I guess,
Yeah.
the TV.
Oh, did you put it on the? That's right.
Yeah, the first one we always, this is the first.
Switch it. Yeah, you switched it. Well, no, I have to switch that.
PS5, that's just a label, right? Because it's obviously not a PS5.
Yeah, I think it's the console. So you remember? Well, the 64 was around when you bought your PS1.
I believe that's true, yeah.
So what I loved about the PlayStations was the fact that you didn't have to kind of blow on the cartridge to
it's a
get it
disc.
started. It's a disc.
Yep.
The only thing that we would risk was getting the disc scratched. And
Oh, yeah, of
fingerprints.
course. Yeah, absolutely.
That was
Yeah.
the worst.
Yeah, I mean, just think of your audio CDs that you played a lot. I mean, it just, destroyed. Ah,
JC.
right. All
JC's a
right.
man.
Just need a little, adapter.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
a bit
I guess
loose.
it was been turned on for a while, so you need to kind of like turn it off. You can reset it.
All right.
What do you think about this,
There's
man?
no sound. This is imagination with the audio,
Okay.
all right? Because the sound is being heard, but we don't hear it.
Damn
So
it,
does
Dallas
this bring
Page.
back some memories?
Yeah, I mean, this was the
Attitude
Monday
Era.
Night Wars.
So let's see, wrestling pros. Who were those two?
What do you mean?
Like those two?
Oh, Sting and who was the other
Was
one?
that Nash?
Oh,
Yeah, it was probably Nash.
I don't know much about wrestling, so I'm gonna learn a lot from you guys tonight. So
All right, controller pack. Not plugged in. Cannot save. Do you want to play without saving? Sure. Okay, no Rumble pack.
Rumble Pack support. You remember the Rumble Packs?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we gotta get a few.
I know, bro.
We
I
gotta
know.
get the Rumble Packs.
I know. We have to get them.
So we'll do an NWO versus WCW.
Okay.
You want to be WCW or so you should be able to click start and
So what does NWO stand for?
the New World Order.
World
New World Order.
Yes, and that came to be when Hulk Hogan turned to the dark side.
Ah, because they were like the bad ones.
Yeah, and he joined with
Well-
Paul and Nash to create the NWO, which changed wrestling forever.
And WCW.
World Championship Wrestling. They bought NWA back in the what was it, late '80s or the early '90s, and they kind of, Hogan was always WWF, and then Flair was always NWA, WCW, and Dusty Rhodes over there as well.
You see, I didn't even know that.
And then they started, when Hogan came over, everyone started coming up, Macho Man, and all those guys from WWF, Hall and Nash started coming over, and
So you guys would say like Hogan is the wrestler that like put like wrestling like.
absolutely,
Well,
yeah,
Andre the Giant too. He was a big figure.
sure,
But like if you had to
Sure.
pick one guy, it was
yeah,
probably Hulk
yeah,
Hogan.
Hogan.
I mean, I know that guy, so I mean, that
Wrestling.
explains a lot.
yeah, wrestling in the mid '80s. When was Hulkamania founded? '84 when he beat Sheik.
Yeah.
Something like that. Hogan before that was a bad guy, didn't really do very much, and then Vince kind of.
So wait, Hogan started as a heel?
I don't know if he started off as a heel, but he was a bad guy. He was managed by Fred Blassie. Yeah, classy Freddie Blassie. He was Sterling Golden was his name actually. Got a cape, the whole thing. He was very much kind of like the character in Rocky III, Thunderlips.
Hmm.
The Ultimate Male versus the Ultimate Meatball, right?
Yeah.
So he was a good guy when he finally won the championship. That was '84 through WrestleManias 1 through 9. I guess he was in, and then there was the WWF steroid scandal, and then he left.
What was it? Because they changed. Was scandal? What do you mean? Like they changed the name or?
No, it was a steroid scandal.
Oh, the steroid stuff. Yeah.
And Vince was getting, sued by the federal government and this whole thing, and then Hogan kind of went away. And
So
then
drama, huh?
Yeah,
Drama.
no,
This
in
is
wrestling,
high stakes.
100%, 100% drama.
And then he got an offer from WCW, and he came back and went over there. He was visibly smaller in WCW as opposed to when he was in WWF. And
So I read somewhere that they used to hand them out like at their office. They're like, oh look, these are yours for this week, meaning the roids.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So it was like,
Yeah.
there's a whole.
I was like, you need to look
Yeah.
strong. So here's the roids to.
Yeah.
Wow, and then that's why because it's like a company giving you. So that's why I got in trouble. And
You gotta, you're feeding your performers.
Yeah.
It's
Illegal,
Like
yeah.
It's like a circus.
yeah,
In a way, you gotta, you gotta get big and gotta be like amped up, and you're constantly traveling, and the schedule's horrible. And even when you're on the plane, these guys are huge, and they're like in coach, and it's tough. It's tough stuff.
it's the product, right?
Yeah. So when I read somewhere that when the NWO started, it was obviously Hogan going to WCW or so, but the way that WWF portrayed it was that they were sending the wrestlers over there to kind of take over the company, something like that.
Yeah, it was yeah. So when Hall and Nash came in, and those are their actual surnames. That was also the start of the real names. Oh my gosh, is this real? But in WWF, Hall and Nash were Razor Ramon and Diesel. And Vince always had this thing for like giving them these names and this persona. He never allowed anybody to use a real name, because if they ever left, that's their real name.
Right,
And so
right. He didn't own that property,
if he's
intellectual property. Yeah.
Exactly.
That character.
Yeah,
That
he's
character, yeah.
He's building that asset,
Yeah.
and so if you want to take that asset and go somewhere
Yeah,
else,
yeah.
you got to reset it.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to choose a different name.
Right,
So
right.
it's smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
but yeah, it was this whole like, oh, they're taking over. They're not supposed to be here. They're taking over, and people are like, oh my gosh, is this real?
This is real.
The whole thing was just so different.
So how do you guys feel when somebody tells you that wrestling is fake? Like, does it hurt you? Like, like, because I remember that was a thing. Like back when I was young, I was like, wrestling is fake. No, it's not. They bleed. Like stuff like that. So is it like? I mean, I know it's a performance, obviously, but
Listen, you have to be an athlete.
yeah, like I can't go there because I'll die. Right? Like I get
these
thrown
people
off.
Are very athletic.
Yeah.
Now,
And some of them are
maybe,
real wrestlers, right?
Matt could agree that there's a storyline, and the storyline is kind of made up.
The script,
But
yeah.
the slams and the like,
Right. The
That's
chair,
real.
hitting them with the
Like-
chairs, and yeah.
Yeah,
that
it's-
hurts.
Yeah. I know.
I mean, there's certain ways to fall
Right.
safely, but accidents happen. You definitely have to be in shape. I mean, even if you're not, ripped, like you've got to have stamina to last in the ring for at least 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, what was this guy's Mick Foley?
Yeah.
When he
he's not
had
in shape.
Yeah.
But he could go.
He could go. When he had this match with The Undertaker,
Uh huh.
that The Undertaker like choke slams him into like he passes the cage and all that stuff. This guy falls like, what was it, maybe 20 feet?
Yeah, that's about two stories.
Heavy set guy.
Yeah. He's about
They-
Yeah,
they
you
thought
have
he
to-
died.
270.
Yeah.
300 maybe.
You take a beating. Yeah.
This guy, they have to, in a stretcher, they pull him out of the ring.
Is that
And
fake
then-
or is that for real? Is he
Well,
gonna
they
be-
thought he died. Like,
Yeah.
this guy was
He
just like,
he was out of it.
He probably was
Like,
knocked out. Yeah.
this guy's over 200 pounds, I'm guessing.
Yeah, easily.
The Undertaker slams him. They take him out on a stretcher. This guy then comes back and continues wrestling with like a limp,
Yeah.
like hand.
Wow. Yeah, they're animals.
That's a legendary
Yeah.
match. He threw him off the cage onto the table, and
Also, I was like a
Yeah,
big,
that's right. He
but
first
then
threw him off.
he came back, and then Taker's like, oh my god, I guess we're still going, and then he like choke slams him through the cage onto the mat.
I'm gonna show you that clip.
Yeah, I
it's
want to
just-
see that. I'll look for it. I mean, that sounds
crazy.
insane.
And then check this out.
There's been like bad accidents.
The grand finale was the thumbtacks.
Yeah, that's right.
So then,
Yeah, if
Mick
it wasn't
Fo-
enough already.
the Mick Foley is like, I need to do the thumbtack. Like,
So what? He
he
rolled over
pulls
some.
out a little bag and spreads thumbtacks.
And when he rolls over on him.
No, they choke slam him into it.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Bro, you're gonna tell me that's not real?
No, I know it is. But that
It's wild.
it's almost like
Sticking in him.
it's like torturing to watch because it's like this guy's getting his ass beat.
It's
fun.
It's crazy. Those days are over.
Yeah, they don't do that anymore like that.
Now, well, I
Too-
mean,
too
not in
cautious.
WWE. In,
But the AEW,
AEW, they still do some of that
yeah,
stuff.
they still do like hardcore. No, but listen, we could sit down and talk about this all day.
Yeah.
Check this out. Tag team.
Mm-hmm.
There was the Hardy Brothers. There was the ones that we thought growing up that they were actual brothers, but they really weren't. The tag team champs.
The Dudley Boys?
Dudley Boys.
One of the best. Yeah.
You gotta watch that match.
Bubba Ray and Devon.
Yeah, you gotta watch that match.
And this is what in the 90s, no? All the 90s or 2000s,
No,
early
yeah,
2000s.
reaching the 2000s.
2000s, yeah.
Because it was that this guy's still in the AEW. The blonde guy.
Hardy?
Was it no
Edge?
Edge.
Yeah.
Edge.
Adam
and,
Copeland.
and Chris and Edge, right?
Christian, yeah. Right.
Christian.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was a 3 tag team match, the ladder match.
It's WrestleMania 2000. Yeah.
History books, guys. History.
Encyclopedia.
Yeah. I think that was the best match in the whole card.
So
Crazy.
that was like the
Triple
best time because
ladder match.
I was in high school around that time,
TLC match.
and I remember hearing about wrestling like every day. Like that was the time I think that was
was hot,
super popular,
yeah.
right? The 2000s, early 2000s,
Yeah.
Yes.
late
Yes,
90s, early 2000s.
Late
90s,
90s,
yeah.
early 2000s. It was the whole Attitude Era, I think, was... Well, first because we grew up in that era, but I think has, in wrestling, the best.
Stone Cold, The Rock.
Stone Cold. I remember Stone Cold.
You know, just a lot of good characters. They pushed the envelope on, you know, just stuff that they show on TV and language.
Yeah.
Listen, if the Attitude Era was now, it would have been canceled.
Yeah, I don't think it would,
Like the things that they
it would
did...
work very well.
it
It's a
was
different audience now.
Yeah.
100%.
Much more sensitive.
So, Matt, you got to press start.
Oh.
So this is going to be 4, meaning 4 wrestlers are going to come out.
Oh.
Okay, there we go.
So press, I think, A or... Yeah, there you go.
Oh.
Now, I guess...
Total
I'm gonna-
package.
I'm going to choose... Growing up, Sting was one of my favorite wrestlers.
Absolutely. He just had his retirement match
Oh, really?
in AEW. Yeah.
All right. Ric Flair. One of
The
those
Nature
guys.
Boy.
So I'm guessing I'm WCW. You're gonna be NWO. I'm gonna pick the Nature Boy. Lex Luger. Giant. Is this
It's not really Andre the Giant's son.
No. But I think it was what was the other guy? The Big Show?
Yeah, it's Big Show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Where is the Big Show? This
Paul
guy.
White.
And then Steven Regal.
Which is the one that died? Isn't the one that died in the...
There's several here, maybe.
No, I mean that died like on
Yeah.
on.
Oh,
He got slammed like from like
on
he fell.
TV?
Yeah.
Owen Hart.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is he on here or no?
No, he was in the other. He was in WWF.
Oh, he's in WWF.
Yeah.
There he is. That's the man. Dang, he's
Hollywood.
6'7". That's pretty tall.
Not anymore.
No, he shrink. He shrink.
Stops this stuff. Really, Eric Bischoff? Okay.
So wait, you have
Scott
Sting
Moore.
as well?
I know.
That's wild.
That's so weird. Okay. Nash, Hall, and Six. Okay.
Was Six
X-Pac.
part of
X-Pac.
D-Generation X?
Yeah. Uh-huh. So I think he was the only one that was in the NWO and DX. Yeah.
So you remember JC back in the day when we were in Palm Springs Middle School?
Yeah.
We would look at each other in the hallway and we're like,
Yeah. That was from that.
that was from not from NWO. It was from D Generation X.
Oh, so that's X, right? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. That makes sense. Yeah, bro. Everybody was doing that in school. I didn't even know why.
I'm telling you, once it starts to cross into like mainstream culture, that's when.
When you know how big
Yeah,
it is.
exactly.
Yeah. Because that was. I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, press
So good.
press A. Under
Okay.
there you go. So time limit, no time limit. We could just leave this how it is.
All right. Start match. Sting versus Hogan.
All right.
Classic.
It's crazy how I have Sting as WCW and then you have it as NWO.
So at one point, did he cross over? Or, yeah.
There was a lot of crossing over, and that's kind of when it started.
I just don't
Fizzling
understand
away.
why WCW went bankrupt. Because I think that's what happened.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, it was just
Declare a loss.
I mean, the product just became ridiculous, and just losing money. Wrestlers' contracts were really large as well. So, all right.
Oh, going through the ropes.
Damn. Oh my goodness, I'm out of the ring.
So I know we talked about this, but do you know the purpose of the of what you have to do here?
I'm just pressing buttons.
It's not like but is it like oh, you just win the match, right? Depending on how.
Right, but you got to pin them.
Oh.
But then there's a countdown, so we got to go back in the ring.
Oh, okay, I
Let's
see.
get back in.
Yeah, use the yellow buttons, Matt. There you go.
Are we back?
Yeah.
Barely.
Mario likes to say he doesn't know how to play, and then at night, in the middle of the night, he comes here
sure.
in underwears
No, I know.
and he plays,
Sleepwalking.
and he plays all night and say, "No, I don't. I'm just good. I'm just good."
I don't know, I'm a natural.
Oh.
Oh, beginner's luck.
Oof.
Body slam.
You know, for it being that old, the graphics are not that bad.
No, it's 3D
Dude, this-
graphics.
I mean, I know every time we talk about this, every time when a game came out back then, it was like, those graphics are amazing.
I know,
right?
right?
Yeah. But it's not bad. It's not bad. I know that little adapter and the
Oof.
converter kind of messes it up a little bit. So
Oh man, nice.
I don't know how.
Nice.
I don't know how I did that,
oh,
Matt.
yeah, you don't know, huh?
Top rope.
No idea, huh, Mario? He's a natural.
It's all coming back.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's muscle memory.
Oh, is it gonna be a 20 count? Okay. That's fine.
So then, Matt, you grew up here in South Florida, or where did you grow up?
So I've kind of been around to a lot of places. I did attend high school in South Florida.
Oh, okay.
I went to St. Andrews in Boca, but I was born in the Bay Area in California.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, back in 1980, and my dad was in the engineering construction business, so he used to build, used to do EPC contracting, so engineering, procurement, construction of oil and gas refineries. And so that kind of took us to a variety of different places around the world. So we lived in California for 5 years, or at least I was there for 5 years, and then we moved to Australia.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
For 2 years, and Melbourne and Perth a year each, and then after that we moved to Houston, Texas. Again, more oil and gas, and then I was there from the end of '88 to '93, and at the time I started playing tennis.
Get out of here.
And so I was playing a lot and decided to pursue a professional tennis career, which means that, I mean, obviously not when I was like, 12 years old, but it was time to start taking training a little bit more seriously. And if you want to, oh yes, the camel clutch,
What?
amazing.
It's kicking
Wow.
my ass.
So that means you gotta go to Southern California or South Florida, and so that's what I.
That's what got you. That's what got you here.
That's what got me here to South Florida
Oh,
in
wow.
'93, and it was just me and my mom. My parents, they weren't divorced or anything like that, but my dad had to continue working in Houston.
Right.
Yeah, he couldn't just leave.
So
yeah.
that was a sacrifice.
Yeah.
And
Wow. So also you could play tennis.
yeah, I can still play. I think.
No, I'm saying like they did all that so you could play tennis.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was. I mean, amazing. Very grateful for that, of course. And so from '93, lived in Boca and Delray Beach, kind of in that area. Played at the tennis camps. The famous Rick Macy's Tennis Academy in Delray Beach,
Oh, wow.
just south of Linton Boulevard, where the Williams trained, where Andy Roddick trained.
Oh shoot.
So a lot of big name household names there trained at that camp, and I mean the Williams.
So you were
in a separate camp.
really you were.
Yeah, I was.
That's
into
what you
it.
wanted to do, yeah.
That was my thing.
Were you able to get pretty far? Or?
Well, I mean, not as far as I wanted to get,
Right,
I guess, but
it's very competitive, huh?
it is, and I think I had a tendency to kind of overthink some things, and as I got older, and I graduated high school, I never had a backup plan to go to college. Like
You're gonna be a tennis player. That's what you wanted.
yeah, and that no fallback plan or
Yeah,
go
yeah.
all out and the whole thing. And so I did that, played a few pro tournaments, didn't do very well, and then really just kind of thought about it some more and realized that this is not for me. This is not
Right.
this is not for me.
Right.
And my parents weren't all that happy about it, but it just
After all the sacrifice
I
I did
know.
for you, Matt.
yeah, but
No, I mean, I know.
it's just playing professional sports or really being at the top of anything in life.
Yeah.
You've got to be
Dedication like 24/7.
It's like the physicality.
Yeah.
I could have tennis lessons at 5 in the morning and crank it out, whatever. But like, is your head in it? Is your heart in it? Because that's the stuff that's going to get you through those matches against some, international dude in some crazy country when, there's no line judges or anything and, there's no lights on and everything. And what's going to pull you through that? And it's not your physical abilities. It's your heart. It's your mind. I just didn't have it anymore.
Do you think do you think there's a genetic component to it too? Like there's only so good you can get. Compared to like maybe somebody who does the same training, the same mentality, but just has that extra physical strength or speed or that you probably didn't inherit. Do you think that's part of it too, or?
Yeah, I do think that's part of it. I think that you're born and everybody has God-given abilities and talent, I guess you can call that.
Yeah.
The thing is that, I mean, for example, like Yvonne Lendl, great tennis player, number one, in the 80s. He wasn't really that talented, but his work ethic was second to none.
Right.
So you can make up for a lack of talent with just sheer
Right. It's just the sacrifice even
hard
more.
work
Yeah.
and drive and
Yeah.
determination. Oh, double count up. So yeah, of course, like, you look at a lot of tennis players that are great. They're tall, they're lanky.
Yeah.
So you look at like UFC, like John Jones and things like that. Yeah, are they going to have an advantage? Sure. Does that mean that they're never going to lose or anything like that?
No, of course not.
You could translate that in basketball too.
Yeah.
I mean, Manute Bol wasn't like the best basketball player in the world. But tall, thin, not really coordinated. So there's upsides and downsides. If you can identify things that you might be deficient in, you can if you
Make
got the
up for it,
drive, you can
yeah.
make up for it. Yeah, for sure. So yeah, tennis. Then I quit. Decided to be a normal person and go to school.
I thought you were gonna say I want to be a wrestler.
I know. Well, my mom always said,
Oh, you like it enough, right?
If I ever did that, she would disown me.
Damn.
So yeah, she just You know, even the tennis. She's like, oh, it was so hard on your body, even today. Oh,
Still
gosh,
brings it up?
the blisters
Dinner-
on your
Thanksgiving
toes.
dinner.
I'm like, it's just blisters. It's not like I don't have toes. But, you know, mom being mom. And,
Yeah. No, I know.
We
Yeah,
talk about our
we talk about
Cuban-
yeah,
Cuban moms.
Yeah.
So yeah, I went to school at Boston University, went up north. I had always kind of lived in warm climate place. Ooh, nice nature boy. In warm climate places, and so I was like, cheap shotting me.
Dude, I was Australia.
And
Do you remember it?
Not that.
Nah,
much.
you're a kid. You know. Yeah.
Not that much, but it was hot.
It was.
I
It's
know
always
that.
hot. Yeah.
So yeah, Boston. That was it, and you know, 4 seasons, and you get snow, and then and then such bad weather, and then the summer comes, and then it's such great weather. So that contrast really makes you appreciate where you live and the different seasons.
So you liked it. You liked Boston.
I like it. Yes. There's parts I don't like about it, but
I can't do that. I can't do that
but
cold.
I like the cold. Here it's very hot and humid. But,
Yeah.
you know, it's fine. And so yeah, did the school thing, studied economics, graduated, and then from there it was, you know, all right, now what am I going to do with my life? I have an economics degree. I wanted to get into financial services, but okay, you know, I want to get into healthcare or something. What does that mean exactly? You want to create a medical device? You want to be a doctor?
Right.
You know, what do you want? It's such a huge sector.
Yeah.
I didn't know what I wanted to do in financial services. Did I want to be a financial planner or an investment banker or what? I had no clue. Just really didn't have any exposure to it firsthand. And what I did know is that I wanted to accelerate my career. And I didn't really want to do the, you know, work my way up the ladder and, you know, the traditional kind of American way of doing things. And so a lot of the friends I had in Boston that I went to school with were from Dubai in the United Arab Emirates. So, you know, I used to hit the nightclubs and all this stuff, and we used to hang out. And
So you met some people.
yeah, I met some people. And then my then girlfriend, who's my wife now, she's from Siberia.
Oh, wow.
And when the Soviet Union fell apart, her family moved. And the place that they moved to happened to be the United Arab Emirates, just by chance. And this is before Dubai like blew up and all that stuff. Dubai was like just really a desert with maybe a couple buildings there. That was it.
It was just starting to
It
be
was
what
just-
Dubai is.
Yeah, I mean, really nothing going on. And so her parents were there. I met Julie, my wife, you know, in Boston through our network of friends and going out and things like that. And so anyway, I you know, graduated. Julie was back. She moved back to Dubai. And then I had our other friends that were also there. And they were saying, hey, you know what? This could be a good opportunity. You could move to Dubai. This is 2006. And they're like, yeah, you know, you speak English. You're smart. I'm like, I do speak English. I do.
I think I'm smart
Yeah,
too.
yeah, I think I'm smart. I don't know. And I'm like, you know what? This might be.
Let's do it. Yeah.
This is a good idea. I like it. So, in 2007.
And moving wasn't new to you, so it's like
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was.
yeah.
I barely.
You know
lived
how
in
to
any-
handle it. Yeah.
I never went to any grade school for more than 2 years in a row.
Wow.
So I was always on the move.
So you're used to that
I'm
moving
used to
around.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I was like, okay, let's do it. You know. So moved to Dubai in 2007.
Oh wow, dude.
I tried to get a job remotely before I moved over there. Of course, very difficult to do, especially over there. They gotta, you know, I want to see you and touch you and feel you and interview and the whole thing.
What is that?
So,
The interview process?
Yeah. But I speak English, and I think I'm smart. And that didn't work. So they're okay. Well, I'm
Let
gonna
me-
have to
let me
get there.
feel
And I'm
you.
gonna have to tell them that I speak English and that I'm smart. So yeah.
Prove it.
Double count out again. Keep losing track of time. So
Is that you're talking? But Mario is fully concentrated. He's like, keep asking questions. I got this.
so Scott Hall.
So
Scotch
Dubai.
Hall. So yeah, so moved over there. You think Miami is hot? Oh, man,
Sure.
this place is.
Yeah, huh?
But is it a dry heat or is it humid?
So this is the thing. Everyone's like, "Oh, it's in the desert. It's dry. It's like Arizona." I'm like,
It's fucking hot.
forget the Gulf. The Gulf is right there.
Yeah.
So the humidity is still like
Ah.
60%.
So it's hotter
hot.
and humid.
It's super hot.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's disgustingly hot.
Yeah.
And in the summertime, I mean, so one of the cool things about being over there is that you get to be on the European work schedule, which means you get like a month off. You know, like here in the States, like 10 days off, 10 business days, that's it, no more.
Yeah.
And so you get a month off, and most people kind of leave during the summertime. It's just so hot. And they go to Europe.
So
or
summer is kind
whatever.
of like-
summer is very slow. Then you have Ramadan, which kind of floats around every
Yeah.
11 months or so, and that's also very slow because people work until around noon.
Right.
And they go home and rest, wait for the sun to go down to break fast, and then kind of continue eating through the night, and then go to bed really late. So anyway.
So yeah, summers are slow.
Summers are slow. But from November through mid-March or so, it is beautiful. It's so nice. It's like brisk at night. The visibility is great because there's sandstorms and stuff. But now all the sand is down. You can see everything. That's one of the things. Like people say, "Oh, I could go to Dubai. The tickets are so cheap." Like, is it in June? And they're like, "Yeah." How do you know?
Don't go. Don't
Because
go.
you don't want to
Yeah.
be there then.
Yeah.
Like not just like, "Oh, I can handle the heat." I have to tell them like you literally can't take good photos of
Right, 'cause of the
tallest
sand.
building in the world and all that stuff because it just like really. I'm like, I'm telling you, like, believe me,
So it's worth paying the extra to go
it is
around that time.
I think it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, Dubai is a cool place. I was there when it first started. When it first started growing, that was like 2000, 2001. But it was, everything's new. Infrastructure is great. Traffic is horrendous. It's a you think it's a melting pot here. Over there, it's crazy. There's
Really?
people from all over the place. Yeah, the local population is only 20% of the population. It's like 1 or 5 people.
Really?
Everybody else is
It's from all over the place.
yeah, Bangladesh, India. A lot of Brits are there. Westerners, Australians.
Is it mostly like of one like mostly Europeans or America or not really?
Yeah,
Is it-
mostly Europeans. It's proximity.
Yeah.
And yeah, you get paid. There's very minimal taxes. How is the Big Show jumping off of the top rope and attacking me? I'm like in this loop here.
So
Learn the move.
Seriously, I mean.
so you're the one that keeps jumping on him?
Yeah. Come on.
Get in. It's the up, the yellow up there. Yeah.
Oh, there. Yeah, I got it. Okay.
So man, Dubai, that's crazy. Dubai, is
Yeah.
it true the cops are around there in Ferraris and stuff or no?
Yeah, some of them are.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's impressive.
That's wild.
That's wild, right? Can't get away from that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
And it's like
it's a promotional type.
a
of thing.
promotional thing. Yeah.
Yeah. But so it took me a bit of time to land on my feet once I was there, and again, still kind of not knowing what I wanted to do in financial services.
So what were you doing there? You're
So the first job I got by chance was with a private equity firm, which is pretty good as a first job. Like, hey, I work at a PE firm. Yeah, that doesn't normally happen. You usually have to take a couple jobs before that. But by chance, that's what the stars said, and that was the first thing I did.
oh nice.
So it was basically a family office run by a Saudi kid. Like $10 million capitalization. It was kind of small, and relatively speaking. And so it was myself and a bunch of other business analysts, I think we were called at the time, just kind of like, hey, what are we doing? And I don't even know if anybody else really knew what they wanted to do in financial services.
So everybody's kind of learning their way as well.
Yeah, just kind of, figuring it out.
Yeah.
And so did that for a few months. Never did any deals or investments or anything like that. And I think eventually they realized, like, why are we paying everybody? We're not even doing anything. So they closed it up, let everybody
All the
go.
money they lost.
Yeah, they let everybody go. And then I was like, okay, now what am I going to do? So I started to get a taste of private investing. It's private equity, it's private investing. So I kind of wanted to stay in that space. I wasn't going to be a commercial lender or anything like that.
Right.
I wanted to kind of be in, the alternative investment space. People looking to raise money to build things and things like that. And so after a few months, I found myself at another firm, which is the firm that I ended up staying there with through my whole tenure, the remainder of my tenure there, and then even working remotely for them when I moved back to the U.S. And that's really where I learned my craft.
And that's what you do to this day.
And yeah, what I do today is largely predicated on my experience there. Working with clients that are looking to raise capital, helping them, number one, prepare to do that, and then number two, not just the preparation, but actually building the investor list, approaching investors, pitching, raising capital, and things like that. And it was tricky there at the time because I was there. And I remember I mentioned 2007, 2008, it's financial crisis.
Yeah.
Right.
So the job was pretty hard to do.
When nobody wanted to invest in it.
Yeah, and a lot of people are like, oh, well, it's the Emirates, and they have so much money, and everything else is
Nobody
locked
had
up
money,
in the
yeah.
U.S.
Yeah.
And so when Lehman Brothers collapsed, all these bankers from New York, they all started coming to the Emirates and trying to raise money, suitcase bankers, as they call them. And they didn't know exactly like the Arab style of investing. You can't just fly in and raise money, and maybe a little bit different now, but they're very relational, not transactional. And so again, you
have to
touch,
build.
feel,
Yeah, I see.
build the relationship and really be in for the long haul. So fortunately, the company I was working for, not only did they used to raise money for the clients, but it was also kind of like management consulting. And so when the capital markets were stagnant and it was difficult to raise capital, we could switch over to like, hey, here's a market entry strategy. You're a British firm, you want to access the GCC, the Gulf Cooperation Country market, then we're going to map that out for you. And this is the best way to do it. And this is who you can partner with, and et cetera, et cetera. And that stuff is stuff that we do at my company now at Joorney, market research stuff. So there's a lot of the things that I learned over there. Again, all my foundation of knowledge really started there. And that's really, where, again, that's where I finally figured out, okay, this is what I want to do in financial services. And so eventually, my wife and I, we got married, and we got married over there. And we moved back to the States at the end of 2013, beginning of 2014. Since we met in Boston, it was just like, okay, we're just gonna move back to Boston, and that's what we're gonna do. And that ended up not being the case. And my parents were pretty much retiring. And my dad, born and raised in Miami Beach, they're gonna retire in Miami Beach. And so my wife was like, you know what? It'd probably be a good idea. Why don't we just back to South Florida? Live in Miami, all the families together. I'm like, okay. And back then,
Uncles and families here too.
Not all of them. They're starting to kind of move over here. Like a lot of people are moving to Florida. Like my sister moved here from the Bay Area a couple months ago. Couldn't take California anymore. My brother's still in Houston, but he might move over as well. But anyway, so
Texas is also a lot of people moving there too.
Yeah, for sure. I love Texas. So we moved, all of our stuff. We had stuff in storage in Boston. We U-hauled it down in 2 trips, and got a place to live, set up shop here, and I was continuing to work remotely for the firm in Dubai. I thought I was going to be this guy that's like, I'm going to, transatlantic flights, and flying back and forth every quarter. And
We'll put you in a private jet so you can come.
just like I've got Emirates miles, and I'm cool, and it's not cool. Those flights, they start to get old. I did a lot of them back when I was living over
you
there.
did.
Yeah. We would fly back to the States once or twice a year. So, to New York or whatever.
How many hours is that from?
To New York is about 12 and a half hours straight.
It's a straight flight. Wow.
Yeah. Or if we went to Houston.
That's a long flight.
You beat me. Giant winds. Ay. Unbelievable.
Those night practices.
They're paying off, huh?
So,
you have him distracted here talking about his life. And you're like,
Well, buff is the stuff. So here we go.
Buff Bagwell.
So,
were you gonna say something?
No, I won.
No, I know. I see that. I see that. Congratulations.
So I stopped working remotely for that firm, and then it was like
you kind of went on your own.
Well, it was just like, what am I?
What I'm doing now?
What am I going to do now? And the challenge was that, specific to what I was doing, there wasn't really a lot of that in Miami at the time.
Okay.
So, I'm like, am I going to make a shift? Am I going to do something
what,
else?
2014, 2015, right? Around there?
2015 or so. So what am I going to do? What am I going to do with my life now that I'm a big boy? Looking around, I'm like, maybe I'll get an M&A. I did a couple of small M&A, mergers and acquisitions transactions. When
Thank you for breaking that down.
Of course.
That was my next question.
Mergers and acquisitions. Two companies looking to combine forces.
I see.
Either one is acquiring the other, or they're of equal standing, and you're merging the two companies together to do something. Create synergies, capture market share, conquer the world. A variety of different things. And I was like, maybe I could do that. Real estate's big here. I don't know, maybe something in that. And just kind of looking, being patient. And then towards the end of 2016 was when there was a post in LinkedIn for a job that they were trying to fill at this company called Joorney. Journey with 2 O's. Why is it Journey with 2 O's? And I have a little reason for that. I kind of know the real reason. But the reason that I tell people when I speak to them, we are Journey with 2 O's. You know why we're Journey with 2 O's?
Why are you Journey with 2 O's?
That's because the regular Journey was taken by the band. So when I speak to people, sometimes I get some laughs, and then I'm like, okay, I'm speaking to someone my age or older. Sometimes I get a blank stare, and I'm like, okay, I'm speaking to a kid, and that's cool too. They were looking to build out a new division within this company, and this is a business plan writing company. But at the time, was just writing business plans only for immigration visa purposes. So there are these immigration visas. These different categories like the E2, the L1, the EB5, the whole alphabet soup of different visa categories for different profiles of people and different places that people were coming from.
And statuses and all.
Yeah, to avail one of these different visa categories as a means to come to the U.S. It's not citizenship. They get to work here and build a business, either acquired by acquisition or building another branch of a business that they have in their home country or whatever. So that's what they were doing, Journey, at the time. Only that. Then they started getting involved in other types of things outside of immigration, but still within this business plan writing space. So, for example, people started asking, hey, I want to go get an SBA loan to grow my small business. I want to apply for a grant. I want to, create a pitch deck to find investors and sell shares in my startup as a means to raise capital.
And that's where
And so, that was kind of the advertisement, the job listing. And I'm like, this is interesting to me. This is really serendipitous and timely. So I applied. I spoke to Ben and Paul, who are the partners. Ben's the founder, and had good conversations with them. And they brought me on board, took me into the Joorney family.
Nice.
And it was my job, and still is to this day, kind of growing out our advisory division, which houses those clients that are looking to enter that transaction, looking for debt, SBA loan stuff, looking for equity, so like early stage startups that are looking to either raise money to build the product or service that they're looking to build, whether that's an app, a physical thing.
Any type of business? Or are you guys
really,
focusing?
Industry agnostic, pretty much any type of business. There's the difference.
Oh,
You gave up? I won? Amazing.
What?
Buff is the stuff.
Did you let him win? Did you let him win?
No.
He's got the bow tie. You see, he's like a Chippendale. So that's
All right.
So,
all right.
is it fun?
So
All right,
Lex
this is the
Luger.
final.
This is a final match.
So what happens? You want a prize? What happens?
Total package versus Buff the stuff.
This is it.
There we go. People that are looking to raise money, whether that's raise money to build the thing, they've already built the thing, and they need money to go to market and do marketing, advertising, some hiring, pay some salaries, things like that. Series A, meaning they've already established product market fit, they're selling, they got some traction, now they need growth capital. So really, that's the whole startup kind of scene there, pre-seed, seed, Series A stuff. And we work with those folks to, I guess I would say that our client, nice, right off the apron I go. Our client archetype is really that person that has domain experience and expertise in a particular domain, subject.
Okay.
So let's say they are an expert in, I don't know, let's call it, let's say they're an expert in real estate, as an example, okay? And they've been buying and selling real estate, and they're great investors, and this and that, and they've used a variety of different software platforms to get data, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay.
But they have realized that, you know what, there are some things that are missing in order for me to really, really analyze my deal properly. Oh no, we're going to get counted out.
Going.
Let's get in. Okay, good. And so they've got this real estate experience, but they've realized that there's a problem that requires some sort of solution, and they think that they're the right person to create the solution. And so they go and they build an app, they hire a software developer, or they hire another company to build this app that's going to enable them to that they can use it as a tool. Okay. And then of course, you never want to build a product of one for one person. So obviously, the point is to sell that product or service as software.
Right.
Recurring revenue, SaaS. And so that's kind of our ideal client, someone that has domain expertise in something and is now looking to kind of move into the venture space, into raising money and things like that. And so
is that what you see mostly companies coming to you for, that want to expand or in the software kind of area,
they're usually they're in a traditional brick and mortar type of industry.
Okay.
And now they're looking to create a digital solution to solving some problems that, because they're experts in that domain, they have identified, and they realize that there's no other software or something that's elegant enough to suit their needs, and they're going to build it on their own. And then they also believe that there's a large market for that, because if they're probably not the only person that's suffering from this problem. Of course, don't forget, you should always do your market research before building anything.
Right.
Of course.
It's the number one reason that startups fail, not doing the proper market research and really knowing.
Fail because there's a product already out there, or because too much competition?
The whole thing.
Everything.
People can get obsessed with, like, oh my gosh, I just found this, this is a problem. I can solve this.
This idea.
Yeah. You got to start looking around, like, are there other people doing this?
Yeah. How far are they?
How far are they doing well with it? Did they raise any money?
Yeah.
What traction do they have?
Yeah.
is their solution as good as you think yours could be?
Yeah.
You know, the execution of the whole thing. So sometimes people just dive, you know, I'm just going to jump into it, and they're entrepreneurs, and I get it.
Right. It's a good mentality to have, but you gotta be real too. I mean, you know, you have to.
For sure.
You can't go jump into something where you know somebody's already 10 years ahead of it. You know.
Yeah.
Especially
of course,
you
got to do your basic research.
Yeah.
You got to do your in-depth research too.
Yeah.
You know, build a prototype. Talk to your target audience before you start building something, and get their feedback. And you know, you might be surprised that like, oh, I thought that this was the problem, but this audience actually suffers from this other problem. And so then you kind of pivot, and then you start to create the solution based on what the market is saying. That's really what you want to do.
the market, yeah.
So yeah, that's really our ideal client. They're going from the physical world into some sort of digital solution. They've never raised money before. Not many people have. It's not something that you learn in school. If you haven't done it before, either yourself as a founder or as an advisor like myself, you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
And so that's why we're
yeah.
here. We're here to help them. It's, you know, not just building out the materials and here's your financials and here's your pitch deck, but beyond that, also why this, why the pitch deck, why the financial model, why is my valuation in this range? So all of those questions that an investor is going to ask,
you guys already prepare them. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We help prepare our clients for those questions, and the manifestation of that are the materials that we deliver and build for them. The financial model, the investor business plan, the pitch deck, video pitch decks we do, executive summary. So all the tools and the bits and pieces that an investor would want to see and analyze in order to make a decision if they want to move forward. So that's what we do when it comes to folks in the venture space, in the early stage, pre-seed, seed, Series A areas. And we also work with small businesses, and I kind of, you know, delineate the difference between startups and small businesses. Startup is a highly scalable venture. A small business is not going to get the returns that a startup is going to have, but is slower and steadier and more reliable.
I see.
I mean, of course, you know, small businesses, it could be a restaurant, and those are high risk as well.
Right.
But you know, we're not going for 10, 100, 1,000x returns. I got a chair. Awesome.
That was great.
So who's winning?
Well, I tried to hit you with the chair, and I didn't. And I got to get another chair. What is that? A baseball bat? Awesome. This is.
This got early 2000s
I got
now.
hit and I drop it. This is horrible.
That's close.
Come on.
I want to go.
All right, let's get back in. I pulled you down. I'm gonna get back in. So yeah, small businesses, restaurants, you know, nightclubs, brick and mortar things, you know, the more Main Street businesses, and you know, what do they need in terms of expansion capital? So oftentimes it's an SBA loan, right? Okay, how do I apply for that? I'm gonna need a business plan. I'm gonna need financial projections.
And you guys help with that, or?
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah. And so, you know, what are you trying to do? Where are you in the whole process?
And it doesn't matter where the company is at that point, right? Just or
no, I mean, if they're super duper early, like, oh, this is a concept I'm thinking of.
Right.
That's too early for us.
Yeah.
It's more of, you know, I'm pretty committed to this. I mean, another thing we do with the company are feasibility studies. Like, I think I want to do this, but I want to do my market research and really.
And you guys could.
And really determine. So, like, rather than going right into step one, I'm ready to go raise money and let's build all this stuff out. Let's do step 0. Let's do some market research. Let's build out some basic financials, and let's just see before I commit, you know, tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars to something. Let's spend a couple $1,000, a few $1,000 to really see if there's potential in this, and then make a decision from there.
That's a very it's a very smart like thing to do. Just, you know, to reach out to you guys with all the experience and all the knowledge you guys have to so somebody doesn't waste all that money or go through all that hardship right before.
I think JC has a pitch for you, Matt.
Oh,
No.
Yeah, I think he has
no.
a
I
pitch.
saw Mario over there. The reason we invited you. No, I'm kidding. No, I mean we got the podcast thing going on. We got what else, Mario? Are you gonna say something?
Mario's concentrating.
Mario's like, I'm gonna win this match because I got money on this.
In the total package torture rack. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
So Matt, and in the meantime, before they raise the companies raise money, how is it that Joorney gets paid, or like how does that part work?
Yeah, of course. We are a fee for service for everything. So the price you see is the price you get. There's no hidden, mumbo jumbo or anything like that. We mutually agree on number one, what is the client? What do you need in order to achieve what you want to do?
Right.
What you want to do is raise money. Are you a small business or a venture? Okay, small business. All right. Well, then it's probably SBA loan.
And what's the
plan.
difference between a small business and a venture?
Yeah. So a venture, a startup, and the terminology is interchanged a lot, but there is a difference. Some people are like, oh, I have a startup. It's a restaurant. It's not a startup. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just labeling and terminology. But a startup is a highly scalable venture.
You mentioned that.
It's software. It's okay. I can sell to one customer. I can also sell to 10,000 customers. Just as easily. I mean, not literally just as easy, but like try to scale a restaurant to serve 10,000 people.
Yeah.
Versus an app that's going to serve
10,000
much completely different.
Much simpler in an app.
Yeah.
Nothing simple, but
right. So a small business is more of a main street thing, a brick and mortar thing. There's a lot of human beings working there. There's a lot of human beings working at Facebook too. As time goes on, every company is going to be a tech company because how do you define a tech company?
Yeah.
Right.
Is Facebook a tech company? Well, yeah. But they have 30, 50,000 people working there or whatever.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
It's still a tech company.
Right.
Okay, and so technology will disrupt and invade every traditional industry, and there's always people looking to do that.
Yeah.
To bring all these traditional types of businesses up into, to take advantages of scale and use technology to do that. But anyway, so small business, it's difficult to scale a restaurant, right? You could have McDonald's and have a lot of them, but you can't just do that like that.
No, I know.
You need a physical location and staff,
and
training,
with software, if it's good enough.
Starbucks, same thing. So restaurants, cafes, brick and mortar establishments, more main street types of things that you see in the mall, retail, and things like that. That's more small, medium-sized enterprises. So if it's a small business, okay, you need $3, $4, $5 million SBA loan. Okay, so let's build out the SBA business plan. Let's build out the financial projections. Let's really define how much capital you're going to need. Let's make sure you have enough in the event that the projections don't work out exactly, that you're not going to run out of money. You don't want to do that. That's the worst. If it's a venture, then okay, that's a different audience that's going to be providing that capital. Tech investors don't read business plans. So does anybody know that if they're building an app? No.
They don't need a business plan?
No.
What?
No, I don't recommend a business plan. Why? Because tech investors, they haven't read a business plan in 20 years. It was 20 years ago. And so
it's a long time ago.
Think about it. Like tech investors, software tech, they're looking at 100 deals a month, something like that. So just think about it. 25 deals a week. Somebody sends a business plan. There's so many deals that you got to look at that
you can't read all of them.
You have a natural filtering mechanism to not read some of them. Did I just run into the pole? Oh, nice. Very cool. Very nice. And so this is a business plan? Immediately, I'm not reading this. It's not fair. I mean, that's just life. And so, again, what are you trying to do? What do you want to do? What do you want to achieve? What are you? Are you a software startup? Are you a small business? So let's make sure that we get the deliverable set correct, because ultimately, you're facing the SBA bank, or you're facing a software technology investor, well, the software technology investor doesn't read business plans. What do they look at? Pitch deck, financial modeling, get the numbers in order. That's what they're analyzing. Of course, all the conversations that they would have with the founding team to get comfortable with that opportunity. And so, again, what are they trying to do? It's an app, small business, venture, small business.
So they're looking at how many people could actually use the app, is what I'm guessing, or
when they build out. Whoa,
that was cool.
Just springboard. Yeah, I mean, if someone's building an app, and that's a startup or a venture, then they're trying to get to scale. They're trying to be serving. It depends if it's business to consumer or business to business. Thousands of customers, for sure, minimum. And then they're all paying some monthly subscription fee, or whatever. I mean, software as a service is that's everything. Everybody wants to build some sort of a subscription. I mean, Mario, you've got your clients that have a subscription.
Right.
You go, what is it, every other week or monthly or whatever to service them. So every month, you don't start off at zero. You start off at some baseline amount of funds.
Correct.
Right? Revenue. If you're a restaurant, you have your regulars, right? Oh, Joe Blow's going to come in every Monday or whatever. But it's not like software as a service where, boom, I'm charging everyone at the first of every single month.
Right.
$7 or whatever it is. And so my month starts off at $100,000. And then everything beyond that is gravy. Of course, that's a great business model, right? And that's why, how many subscriptions do you guys have?
Yeah.
For software? Too many.
Yeah.
You have to periodically review them.
Yeah.
And then
I actually canceled a bunch.
You even have subscriptions within subscriptions. So you could have Roku, and then you have you've got the MGM, you got the Disney, you got the, Hulu.
Yeah.
You got, Fight Pass, UFC, WWE, everything. Just, it can get out of control.
So would that be considered like a tech company?
Sure. All of those are tech companies. Yeah, absolutely. It's content, but they're technology. Yes, there is an office. Yes, there are a lot of people working there, doing business development and partnerships and marketing and advertising. But, Netflix is a tech company, of course. And especially those tech companies in the public markets, you can really identify them based on how they're valued. They have different valuation multiples as opposed to traditional types of companies. The tech companies, traditionally, historically, 18 times price earnings ratio is kind of the standard valuation multiple. And then you go to a car company, not Tesla, but a traditional type of car company, and you're not at 18, PE ratio. It's quite a bit lower than that.
Because you have so much overhead of everything else, right?
Yeah, the margins are lower, everything, and so.
So is Tesla a tech company?
Well, everyone. That's the thing. So everyone tries to. I'm a tech company. I'm a tech company. I'm a tech company. It's not. I get it. I want a higher valuation. I'm a tech company.
The ultimate question, Mac.
Yeah.
And this is because JC just finished watching the show. Is WeWork
Oh yeah.
a tech company?
Nope, absolutely not.
It's a space company. It's a
It's real estate. play.
real estate. Yeah.
Ah.
Which WeWork series did you watch? The one with Jared Leto?
Yeah, We Crashed. I
Excellent.
think it's called. Yeah.
Yeah. With
Yeah, Jared Leto and Anne Hathaway.
Anne Hathaway,
Yeah,
yes.
it was great show.
yes.
Yeah.
It was excellent. I watched it twice.
Oh wow, you really loved it. Yeah.
It was really good.
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
That's it's
gotta
a
watch
great,
it tomorrow.
It's a great series.
good.
Yeah.
I started it.
I highly recommend it. But yeah, Adam Newman is a good example of someone that
Sold bullshit. No.
I mean,
yeah.
I think he's a believer.
Yeah.
I think he's a believer.
Yeah.
He believed his own exactly.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
he
I don't-
believed in
I
his
don't-
own thing.
Yeah, no,
I
I
don't
mean,
think that he had his
there was a
law.
product. It's just
He's a salesman,
yeah.
and he could sell. He raised a lot of money,
Yeah.
they just kind of went a bit too fast.
I don't know much about his life, but was like if you do, was like the show accurate to like kind of what happened, or because I know some
I don't know.
depictions. Yeah, I don't
Don't know him
Yeah.
personally or anything like
Yeah.
that. But I mean, it must be pretty interesting to be what 40 or something or 45.
Yeah, because he's young, right?
And have a TV series made about you.
Yeah, because he's
You think
yeah.
he got paid for that?
I don't know.
I mean,
I mean, they named it We Crash, so I don't I don't know.
it's a great question. I don't know.
Yeah, it went
But,
too fast, huh? Is that what was
Yeah,
is that kind of
it's
like
just, it was too much. And the thing is that, look, he's trying to build a brand. And once he kind of came out with that business model, that operating model, how many other WeWorks are there right now? There's a lot.
Whoa!
Yeah, there's.
I know.
I'm going
There's
to create this, this place. And it has
That's
shared
true.
space. in
that
it.
was the first of its
Thing
kind.
is- Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much. Pretty much. At scale, absolutely.
Yeah.
But like,
I see
there's-
them all over the place now.
Yeah,
I
there's
see 'em all-
but there's no defenses there. It's very easily replicatable. Shared spaces,
Yeah.
all over the place. And the other thing is I didn't really think that it was that novel. You got Regis. Regis is a player that's been around forever.
Right.
Do they have cold brew on tap? No. It's more of like kind of an older generation sense that you get when you like, oh, I have a Regis office.
Wow.
Now they're more modernized and things like that. It's the same.
It's the
renting
same-
space.
same
It
thing,
was
yeah.
a different
You're renting
market.
Yeah.
It was,
Yeah.
Oh, you
Yeah.
have an app or something like to check in? Who cares? I mean,
It was definitely marketed differently.
Yeah,
too.
he marketed.
Well, that's the
it-
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For
he's
the
a
this
great,
gen, yeah.
he's a great salesman.
Yeah.
And
He
and
raised
look,
billions of dollars.
yeah, it was just
Billions.
leveraged in the real estate
Yeah.
and the expansion and everything. It's just too much, But but that's a good question. Of someone that's trying to position a traditional business model as a technology company, and really went a long way into doing that. Now they're bankrupt.
The actual company's bankrupt.
Yeah, just like a couple months ago.
Oh wow.
So,
But
and then he was
left
trying to
with
buy it back.
Really?
This guy is amazing. Yeah.
But he left with a few. Like he left with some money. when they kicked him
golden
out.
parachute, just all this crazy. You got to watch the series, but yeah, he worked out a great deal for himself. Tried to force him out, and then he had this amazing package on the way out.
Yeah, you gotta watch it. Yeah. You gotta watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't mess it up.
I
Don't mess it up.
I don't like spoiling.
Yeah, because that's part of the, little twist there at the end.
Yeah. But yeah, that's that's
reverse.
yes, suplex.
You know how to pin, right?
I don't even know.
So you get close and you
Yeah.
and you.
Oh, down?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So yeah, small businesses, it's startups, it's really helping them prepare to help them achieve what they want to do, which is obtain that outside capital to grow. That's really
Damn.
yeah.
WCW wins.
WCW.
It's just another one.
wins.
It's just another win, Mario. So, how's the tournament you guys played?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm
Matt, what do you think about
I'm good.
Mario Kart? Want to switch it up?
Sure. Yeah. Let's do it.
When was the last time you played Nintendo 64?
Oh my gosh. I don't know.
20 years ago.
Everything's 20 years ago.
What was this, Mario Kart? Oh, that's another one Mario's good at. The only one I'm really good at is 007.
007. This guy's a beast in
Yeah.
007.
I love that game. I used to play that game all the time.
Yeah, I was a big Street Fighter guy.
Oh, Street Fighter was good too.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I used to have to tape up my thumbs because it was just blistering. And,
Oh, no, I wasn't that hardcore.
yeah, just crazy.
For Super Nintendo or for?
Yeah, super.
Yeah.
I got really addicted to, my cousin had Nintendo, the original one, with Tetris.
Oh,
I got
yeah.
obsessed with Tetris.
Oh, such a great game.
Isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. I got obsessed with Tetris. Oh, that's right. We could all play in this one.
Yeah. You want to play battle or?
Yeah, I was
versus?
feeling a little left out with the
Let's,
wrestling game.
Let's do it.
I'm gonna pick Luigi.
Okay, Bowser.
Bowser.
Bowser, all right. I'll stay with Mario. What stadium you want to play in, Matt?
What are you gonna do? You gonna do the battle?
This looks like the octagon.
Yeah.
Let's do that. Coming up next. All right.
Okay.
I think I just died.
And Luigi fell.
I just started.
Wow, I am going into the depths of hell.
Yep. Yeah, I don't like this one too much. Oh my goodness, I can't see. I can't see.
Oh. Yeah. I should.
Yeah, Mario's just gonna win by just.
Default. I'm gonna take out Luigi.
Why am I a bum?
Because so you lost all 3 balloons.
Oh,
So
man.
now
This
you
is
get to
super
blow
tricky.
someone up.
This is tricky.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I blew myself up.
Okay. Let's do the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is crazy.
Course
Sorry.
change.
We don't have that practice.
So then, Matt, like actively, what like companies are you looking for? You said maybe a brick and mortar that is looking into starting an app.
Well, they
or
go to you, no?
subscription. How does that work?
Yeah, it's really, someone's trying to do something. That's pretty broad. But it could be an app. Like, hey, I want to launch this app. It could be a new restaurant concept or something that someone wants to do. And so it's really the common denominator is they're going to need, it doesn't always have to be this way, but most of the time they're looking to get outside capital.
Yeah, they need money.
Whether that's SBA loan, debt, an equity partner, by selling shares. That's usually they're entering, and you call that a transaction. You're obtaining debt, a loan, you're raising equity, selling shares, in order to build something, in order to expand, and that's usually the common denominator. So whether it's a venture, a startup, or a small business, or even an existing business that's looking to expand. Of course, we work with a lot of those as well. Or a business that's looking to acquire another business and needs outside capital in order to do that.
Got it. So, for example, a pest control that wants to buy another
Yeah.
small and mom
Yeah.
and pop.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yep. That's a great case study, a great example. I'm looking to acquire other smaller, maybe owned by some older people now that are looking to exit, and that's kind of my criteria for other pest control services that I'm looking to acquire. And it's called a roll-up strategy. And so you go and you start consolidating the market by defining the criteria and doing your search and making your approaches like, hey, are you interested in exiting? Like, oh, okay, or not, or whatever. And then, okay, how are you going to do it? Where's your firepower? You got to go get money. You're not going to self-finance the whole thing.
Right.
And so you go get acquisition debt, SBA loans to, it's not always just SBA. It could be any type of commercial loans to make
Following me,
acquisitions.
bro. I'm listening.
And so, yeah, I mean, we've worked with folks that have done the same, very, very similar things, but in the healthcare space. I want to acquire all these dental offices or these chiropractors or, what else?
So, for example, these people that I guess fund or these investors, what exactly are they looking for in a company? Let's say I wanted to start an application for pest control, and this application will identify the bug, and will let people know how to treat it.
But yeah, it's really good. Did you think
Okay.
about that?
Yeah,
I just thought about it.
right now, it's amazing. Take my money. Okay, so you want to start an app, and it's got, an algorithm. You utilize the camera, and there's a big database that's connected to the cloud or whatever, and you scan the. This does exist for plants. I forgot the name of it.
Yes. Yeah, I've seen it. It teaches you how to cure them.
Yeah, and so it's similar to that, but for bugs. That's
Right.
cool. Yeah, and so is it just mostly, is it educational that can kind of enhance your current service offering, and then that could even maybe make your job easier. So I'm sure you always get a question. I've got this bug,
Damn,
and I
that's
don't know
true.
what it is. And
That's
now,
true.
if they're equipped with the app, maybe that can make your life easier. Maybe you're bringing over different types of chemicals or specific tools or something like that in advance because they've already identified what the bug is
right.
with the app. Whereas without the app, you're just relying on their descriptions and they're freaked out or scared or whatever. And then you just got to go there and
try
scope
to
it out first. And maybe you don't have everything on you.
Inspect, right?
Yep. So I don't know. It could be something like that. Make your job a bit easier. Now let's say you build it out and it's successful, and you could make a decision. Do I want to keep this for myself, and then really have everyone, I'm their pest control person. I want them locked into my brand, or you sell that software as a service to other pest control companies. And they can white label it, make it their own branding, this whole thing, and now you make money that way.
Right.
There's different things that you could do when you have something like that.
But I would have to build it out first in order for them to invest in it.
Well, you gotta.
Yeah, that's a good question. How soon is too soon to go look for money? Or how far do I want to build something out? What's the right timing to go raise money? My recommendation is always bring it as far as you can go before looking for money. Now, easier said than done, and it really depends on what someone's building. But if we're just talking about apps and startups, not everyone's a software developer, right? And so, if you don't have a technical co-founder, then you've got to hire a third-party software developer to do that, right? And that's okay.
Bowser, you're making it too easy.
But that's going to cost money, right? And so, how do I get that money? Let's say you need $30,000, okay? And you don't have $30,000. So what's the first thing you do? Well, usually it's friends and family. So now that being said, everyone's got different friends and family.
Right.
Not everyone's friends are with like John Rockefeller or whatever. And so, you kind of exhaust that. Hey, I'm raising this friends and family round. This is the idea. So it's friends and family. They're close people. Hopefully they're not going to like really put you through the ringer or anything like that. And they're not going to fight you on valuation or whatever. So let's say you raise the $30,000. Okay. Now you have $30,000. Now you could pay the software developer to build out the app. Okay. And if everything goes well, you've got the app, you've got an MVP, minimum viable product, or like a software prototype.
So you can charge $30,000 to build an app?
Well, it ranges. It ranges on where you're getting it done. Is it in the States? Is it abroad? How built out is the app? But you want to spend the least amount of money, but something that demonstrates the usage of the thing.
Right.
Okay. And it's not easy to do, and there's an art to it. And the better you can do it, when you start to raise more serious money, $1 million, $2 million, those investors are gonna, okay, nice. They're gonna see how well you were able to kind of build this out. To see, they're trying to smell you out to see if you're a good founder. Are you going to be in for the long haul? How nimble are you in all of this stuff? So, you build out the MVP. You're in the market. You're testing it. You're tweaking it. You're making adjustments. You're getting market feedback. It doesn't have the entire feature set. It has It's just doing the one thing that it's supposed to do. Forget about all the other, bells and whistles and all this stuff. You just want to build it out to demonstrate that this can work and that there's an audience for this thing. That's the goal. Now, once you have that, and now you're like, okay,
you could show that it can sell. That's a way to.
Yeah, I've gotten audience feedback. I've got different people using it. It's starting to pick up. I've got some word of mouth traction. So you're like, hey, you know what? Maybe this is a good time to go approach investors. And that might be a good time to do it. And so then you can come to us at Joorney and we can start, okay, let's start building out numbers. Let's start building out your pitch deck presentation, the document that's the first document that goes out to potential investors to gauge their interest. Why am I not able to turn? This is very strange.
No, you got to use a joystick.
No, I know I am, but it's like I can't turn left. It's like Zoolander. He can't turn left. It's so weird.
What do you mean, the remote's not letting you?
No, I mean it was working and now it's not. Huh.
No, reverse.
Yeah, I know. What is happening? Yeah, it's like I can't turn left.
It's messed up.
Wait,
I think so.
we got a yellow remote.
Oh, okay, perfect. Building out the numbers, building out the pitch deck presentation, get the storytelling in place, and then start building the list of investors and start approaching them. And the more evidence that there is that you've got kind of, there's something there. There's something going on there. You've got some customers. It's starting to get some traction. Thanks. And
there's interest, right?
There's interest. You can kind of feel it, this kind of product market fit type of a thing. Now you start to define the business model. I mean, when you just have the prototype, you're not looking to make money necessarily. You're just wanting to get some feedback and whatnot. Okay, yeah, that's working. And so, that could be a good time to go raise money. Investors see that there's some traction there. And that puts you in a,
Marketable,
in a much better position as opposed to not building a prototype, not having really any evidence of any traction, because now you're keep in mind, people raise money to build the thing. Let's say that $30,000 was really $300,000.
Right.
And they need to go raise the money. It just depends on what they're building. Not everything's going to be $3,000 or $30,000. An AI thing that you're building now, and you need software developers in-house. You're raising millions of dollars in the first round.
Yeah.
It's
expensive.
That's how it is. That's how it is, and investors understand that. So it just depends on what you're building, and then defining what that use of funds is for what you're building. That's why I say, as far as you can take it, the founder can take it on their own, bootstrapping, friends and family, whatever. Even if you got to take out, I'm not a big advocate of doing this, but
loans.
Take out loans, debts. I wouldn't say take a double mortgage on your house or anything insane. The success rate of ventures is very low. I mean, a lot of them fail. Most of them fail, of course.
Well, according to that I guess series, this guy from WeWork, he took out his own loan, no, to get it started, or he sold it. He sold the initial concept, and then when he started doing his own.
Yeah, from what I recall, he ended up raising money with his co-founder, but at the very beginning,
yeah.
But it wasn't a bank. You can't just go to a bank and say, "Hey, listen, I want to raise money for this."
I think from what I remember too.
Startups like that.
I think from what I remember, they did have a couple investors early on. They just raised money. I don't think he had money.
I don't think he had a lot of his own startup capital in the very beginning, but I don't want to spoil it for you, Mario. But as the company matured and had a lot of value and it was, really firing on all cylinders, the options for traditional banks opens up.
Got it.
It's just a tolerance of risk. So early stage startups are highly risky. It's high risk. Most of them fail. So as a traditional bank, like, I'm not going to do that. And that's why even with an SBA loan, all right, what's the collateral? Right, you have a house. Okay.
Right.
All right, you got assets. So things that you can kind of lean on. It's just like when you're taking out a mortgage. You got to put down your 20%. I mean, you could put zero down, of course. All this stuff. But okay. That's the equity, the 20% down. You buy a house for whatever, $100K. You put $20K down, and $80,000 is your loan.
Right.
Right. Because and that loan is in the first position for that house. So in the event of default, there goes your house. The bank takes it.
Right.
Because they've got to get their money back. So with a startup, especially a venture, there's no assets. That's the thing with these tech companies. It's all software. It's just people.
So would like the owner or the person starting the startup have to put like his house or anything, even though, or is it, I guess, the way the company's incorporated? How?
Yeah. Well, if they're raising equity, from a tech investor or something like that, that's it. There is no collateral. That's the game.
So then the investor's just taking a blind risk, like
because they're investing equity. So if the company goes to zero, it's over. If there's no cash balance anymore, if there's cash and then they decide to close it before it like literally went to zero, then it depends on what the terms of the engagement were with the investor. There's structuring involved and things like that. But most of the time, how it works is, let's say I'm raising $2 million. I go raise $2 million on an $8 million, what's called like a pre-money valuation. And so the investor gets 20% because you take the 8 million, you add the 2 million, you get 10, you divide 2 by 10, and you get 20%. If that goes to zero, then everyone loses all the money. If it makes some money, free cash flow available, then the first of that money goes to the investors first. They are made whole. It's called preferred shares. So they are made whole. So they're 2 million. They get that first.
Get that back. Okay.
And then and only then, once that's done, then it gets distributed amongst the founders and everybody else. That's how it works. Now with tech companies, oftentimes there's no free cash flow to distribute because they're just plowing it back in marketing and advertising and expansion and things like that. The liquidity event down the road when the company goes through a transaction, mergers and acquisition, they get acquired by Amazon or Google or Microsoft or whatever, or they go and IPO and they're on the public stock exchange. That's the exit. Then that's when everybody gets paid. The investors get paid first. So let's say an investor puts in $2 million. I'm going to get mixed up on my math, but they put in $2 million. They got 20%. No other investors came in. Then they sell that company. So it was a $10 million valuation. Then they sell the company for $100 million down the road in 5 years. Okay, so what does the investor get? The investor gets, they get, 10 times their money. So $20 million. Because it went from $10 million valuation to $100 million, and they put in 2, so now they have 20. So they get that first, and then the investors get the remainder. I'm sorry, not the investors, the founders. The founders get the remainder of that.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's before like the company goes public or...
That's an exit. So that represents a liquidity event. So another company bought them and took them out.
So is that what happened to the UFC when the original brothers that bought it with Dana White sold it to ESPN or whoever purchased them? That was like their exit?
They sold the rights. Well, they sold it to... Well, those were television rights, broadcasting rights. But I think you're talking about when they sold it to Endeavor.
Right, yeah, something like that.
Okay, that's the exit, yeah. What was it? It was $4 billion or something like that.
That's
Pretty
wild.
wild.
Pocket change.
And they bought it for not much, 14 million or so. I don't know.
Wow.
Back when the UFC was almost bankrupt.
Right, right.
So that's a great return on investment.
Yeah.
They did a very good job
Jeez.
with that, and so now Endeavor has them, and now Endeavor has WWE, and then they created TKO, which houses WWE and UFC, and so, you know, it's a publicly listed company.
TKO.
You can invest in it. It's a public market, and I guess Endeavor still exists, but they do other stuff or whatever. But yeah. So Vince McMahon exited, finally. I forgot what the terms were for that. And then the Fertitta brothers and Dana White, they exited. And here we are with the new TKO company, which houses both of those intellectual properties.
Got it. So I put this into perspective. JC, want to ask you about 42nd
Stop blaming.
Place Studios.
Stop blaming it on
Yes,
me.
he did.
Why
Yes,
you
he
keep
did.
saying me?
What,
You want
Matt, what would you think, like, for example, a startup? Like, you know, we're not just a podcast. We're like a, what, production?
Sure.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know, a
We
studio.
do media stuff, you know, documentaries, and we gotta do some stuff. We do some stuff.
Play video games.
Yeah.
What do you think would be our plan or our obviously we got to build, you know, what we have so far, we got to build it up, but what would be our journey,
Oh,
like our
I see what you did there. What would be your journey? To do what? What are you trying to do? Expand? Get more people?
you're meaning more followers, like more views?
Is that-
So we started off like
Everyone
that.
wants that.
Okay.
Well, what do you want to do? Depends on what you want to do. Do you want to expand? Do you want to have a full-blown studio, like a standalone thing where you can house other, you know, like you had initially were thinking about? It depends on what you want to do.
So for example, we're not saying that we want to be like for like a page like Only in Date, where now, you know, they have sponsorships and they have, you know, things with the community and kind of like through advertising. I'm guessing that's how they're making their, you know, money
Yeah.
or whatever. But something like that, like an Only in Date page,
Mm-hmm.
where now they have the following, they have this, that. What would be their next step? I guess would it be for them to get bought out by someone or?
Yeah, so, you know, these kind of digital properties like that, the bottom line is that if you have a lot of followers, you've got something there.
Right.
There's ways to monetize that through advertising and things like that. Wherever there's eyeballs, you know, just look back at the traditional business model of TV shows
Yeah.
and commercials, right? You got a TV show, someone's watching, I don't know, Lost, you know, back in the day, or Seinfeld or something like that. You want your commercials there. Why is it so expensive to advertise during the Super Bowl? Everybody's watching it.
Right.
Although this past year's commercials were horrible, like really bad. The Dunkin' Donuts ones were good, but besides, it was just embarrassing. So when you have eyeballs, you've got something going on. There's a lot of different things that you can kind of do to leverage that and to get into other things. So a property like that, you know, Only in Date, originated on Instagram. What can they do? From there, I mean, they could have giant events. They could do music events and things like that. They can go into that entertainment activation kind of realm. I mean, obviously, like merch and things like that. They could have a podcast, right, and bringing people on. Yeah, then enough people are attracted to that. Then they've got sponsors and advertisers on the podcast. Once you have that following and all those eyeballs, that proves that there are people that are interested in what you're doing, what you're saying, what you're showing through the content and the storytelling that you're doing. And once you have that, that's not saying it's easy. It's hard. It's extremely difficult. Everybody wants, hey, I want to have hundreds of thousands of followers. Oh, I'm putting out content. How come I'm not like getting traction? Extremely
You're not
difficult.
good enough.
Yeah, and everybody wants to do that.
Yeah.
And a lot of it's luck. But really, you know, what's that niche? The old saying, niche to get rich. You don't want to try to be everything to everybody.
Right.
You focus on this one thing and have an audience that's extremely passionate about exactly what you do,
Yeah.
the content that you're putting out. And then from there, once you have those passionate fans, then you can start to kind of get into other verticals and do different things. If you try to be like everything to everybody, then it's not. So like Only in Dade, like, if you know, like Only in Dade, they leverage that property into only in, I think there's other cities now. Now, I don't know if I'm not the intellectual property attorney or anything like that, and they probably can't even like protect that. But if I wanted to open up only in Suffolk, where Boston is,
Right.
Boston, could I do that without their permission? Probably. So then it's like, okay, if you're only in Dade, what other territory? Only in Broward. So let me grab that. Let me do this and start to
Right.
kind of build out market share, because other people are going to see that you're getting a lot of traction in Only in Dade. So you're in Boston, and I'm going to start this one here, just like the guys or the gals did in Miami, and I'm going to try to get traction that way. So then it could be this whole like competitive, digital land war type of thing where, if and if you live in this area, that the traffic sucks. The heat. This guy's
Right, it only pertains
running
to that,
around naked or something like this. Is the Florida man. This whole thing. And then when you're here, like, oh yeah, I know. Oh yeah, I know. And it's super popular. It gains all that traction because it wasn't only in America. It was only in Dade.
Right.
Not
It's
even only in
very niche.
Florida.
Right.
It's only in a county.
Right.
So, did they know that when they started? I don't know, but it works. It works, and that's a niche. It's just this specific locale, and Miami's a very unique place. Are we part of Florida? I mean, technically, I guess we are. You go a little bit more north, and like you're in Florida.
But you're
definitely
not.
in Florida. But Miami is completely different.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, people know that, and it's just something that it's just got that formula that clicks really well, and that's why it's so popular. So, you start to think about that. Like this, for example, video games, we're talking about business and things like that. That's interesting. I don't know if there's anything else out there that's like this. It could be people playing video games and streaming, and I'm playing Zelda or whatever, but it's about the video game. It's not talking about like business or any of these other topics. Right. So this is a theme, right? So yeah, it's just kind of, finding that formula. Once you kind of get that formula and then you start to get that traction in the eyeballs, the world opens up and you can start to do all these different things that like you never even thought of before. Whenever anybody like cares about what you're saying, you can do a lot of things. You have a lot of power.
Yeah.
You see it in politics, you see it in anything.
That's the hard part, right? To get
Yeah.
to people want to listen to the shit you talk.
Yeah, it's
Not you. I mean,
yeah,
like
it's
people talking
of course,
in general.
it's difficult. People, I mean, it's not fair
Yeah.
either.
Yeah.
You go on YouTube, and you might see, a YouTube short or something like that, and there's this expert violinist that like they're playing it with their feet or something like that. Something so insane and profound. You're like, how is this possible? And they have 2 views.
Yeah.
And then you look at this other, clown or whatever, like, I'm like flipping water bottle. This is so awesome. 5 million views.
Yeah.
And you're like, life is not fair.
Yeah.
That's just how it is.
Yeah.
And
I've seen the videos now where people just spend hours like they have like little ping pong balls and they bounce it against like pots till it lands like in a cup. You know,
yeah,
that?
of course. Yeah.
People just they have like millions of views. People just
I know. These channels that have kids' toy reviews.
oh yeah.
It's like, I mean, what is this? My kid could do this. You know how many people say, my kid could do this? Try it.
Yeah.
Try to get it that many views. You're
Yeah.
not going to be able to. Not that easy.
No.
It's hard. But that's the world that we're getting into, especially with AI and everything. And like, people are going to lose their jobs. What are we going to do? I'm going to create content. There's going to be a limit to how much content that people can absorb.
Right.
Yeah.
There's already a lot.
Yeah.
Like how much?
Too much. Yeah.
Do you guys ever seen this movie, Idiocracy? Gotta watch it. It's from like 2001 or something like that, maybe 2000, maybe late 90s. It takes place in the future. Luke Wilson's in it. Owen Wilson's
Oh,
brother.
okay. I saw it when I was really like a long time ago. So yeah.
And he's like cryogenically frozen.
He's
And
like
then-
smarter than everybody.
Yeah, and then they unfreeze him later. And in the future, he's like a genius, but he's like a very average person.
He's a normal
He's
dude.
not a genius.
Yeah,
He's just a normal guy.
Yeah.
But everyone else is completely out of it. They're just like brain dead. Devices, the screens, all of these things to, remember, problem solution. Oh, problem. Oh, this person's uncomfortable because this is hard because they have to press an extra button to do this one task. I create this app that eliminates that one button. Yay, I'm a millionaire. It's just all of these things to make your life easier, but it makes you lazier. It makes your brain not work as well. And the long-term ramifications of that are, we don't know what that is. All of these apps and this and that. And
That's what's happening.
It's-
That's going to
it's
happen now
crazy,
with AI.
but that's
Like,
the thing,
it does
What is
everything.
everyone going to be doing? you know?
Like, are they just gonna be in their house?
You need to write an email. Like you don't even have to think. Just
Yeah.
ChatGPT,
Yeah,
can you write me an
GPT,
email
boom.
to?
Now I can tell when someone GPT'd the email, and I get it. I'm like, yeah. But like most people don't know, and
yeah.
in 6 months I'm gonna be like, I don't know, because
Yeah.
it goes
getting
so
better.
fast.
It's getting better. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You could kind of uses a lot of the same kind of like vernacular, I guess.
Yeah. So I when I was in the copier industry, paper. People stopped wanting to use paper. People wanted to go green. They didn't.
You're at
want
the office?
copiers.
Right. It's never a dying
Listen,
business, man.
I'll tell you. I'll tell you
Good
this.
old Scranton, PA.
The office that I worked, it was just like an episode from The Office.
I mean,
Was it as funny?
A lot of funny
Okay.
stuff happened in that
gotta have
office.
fun.
It was hilarious.
I mean, that's what
gotta
the
have
office
fun.
is.
I'll
People
tell
can
you
relate
this,
that works
I
in
could
office.
name someone that worked in that office that was probably a great cast member for The Office. It was that funny. Everyone
Is that
made-
similar?
Very similar. But the biggest thing in the industry was we kind of like it's harder to sell copiers now because everyone's scanning things, everyone's
Yeah.
going digital and all that stuff. So they had to kind of like transition, to now selling software and doing things like that.
That's the
But-
end of the game.
People still like paper because I still see people selling out of that same office, and some of them have gone to other companies like Kyocera or Ricoh and stuff like that, and these big copiers are still being sold. So I don't know, there's always a resistance in a way that, I don't know if it's either an older generation like me myself. I love paper. You see me going to the meetings always with my little notebook and all that stuff.
People who read books, they still prefer, polling shows that they still prefer the physical book. I do. I'm beyond the Kindle. I do the audio because I don't know. That's how I absorb information very well. Reading books, I like it. The book, I fall asleep pretty easily.
I get to say
It's like back in my school days, like studying.
Yeah.
But my wife, she likes a physical book. But yeah, no, paper is always going to be, even if people going full digital and something, paper is a standard.
So I would think like, AI will eliminate a lot of like, people either cold calling or sending emails or office
Those
jobs.
type of like repetitive jobs would be
Low
eliminated.
skilled things.
Yeah.
But then, for example, now you get a lot of telemarketing calls, right?
Yeah.
And these telemarketing calls are robots. They're actual AI, and they sound like real people.
And they sound like real.
But what do? You immediately hang up. So I think that it'll go back to like that human touch again.
Well,
I mean,
even
that's
even
what
if
I'm
it's
thinking.
AI or an actual person, I still I still hang up. I wouldn't know either way. So the point is now how are they gonna get that information to you? It's not gonna be in phone calls anymore. Just gonna deliver it through mail.
No, it's going to be Neuralink.
Oh god. They're just gonna load it up on your brain.
It's going to
That'll
be
be
Musk.
wild.
Or when you're walking, it's like,
Or
oh
like-
shit, I got an ad.
Yeah, the Matrix, the first one.
I mean, I saw the guy the guy that they implanted the Neuralink on.
Yeah.
Who was Cuomo? I think was interviewing him. That guy was moving the mouse with his mind.
Oh, man.
Wait.
wild. Yeah.
This happened already? Like
This is real.
Oh, yeah. They
yeah.
have the first live human test case already.
Yeah,
The,
they're-
the genesis of the company was it's for like people that have physical disabilities
Right,
and things like that
that's
to overcome those things. It was amazing.
that's
But
what
like,
it's starting off.
Okay,
And then they'll
but
take.
then
Now
They
you're
control your
moving things
mind.
with your mind.
yeah,
Well, he was moving the mouse with his mind. And then Koma asked him like, "Are you doing it with like your eyes?" And he's like, "No, I'm talking to you, looking at you, but I could move the mouse with his mind."
yeah, it's a brave new world, my friend.
That is wild.
I know. I saw it
Yeah.
and I was like, "Wow, wow,
Yeah.
Well, that's just okay, like anything else. That's just the beginning, right?" Like,
No, but I had to see that to believe that, bro. That guy has to do it in front of me.
Is that a magic trick?
Move the mouse.
Jesus, do it now.
Yeah.
yeah. No, but I mean, he has no reason to. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it could be bullshit, but he's doing it.
Yeah.
Well, Matt, definitely thank you for coming through. You know,
Thank you for having me. This was a lot of fun.
this for me and JC, it's more of a passion than anything else. Really, it's for us to hang out.
Hey,
Yeah,
it's
get
good.
away from our wives. No, I'm just- no. Yeah.
But
Productive hanging out. Productive hanging out.
Yeah.
100%.
You have to. You have to once in a while.
So where could people seeing this podcast reach out to you? What's your Instagram? Like, how could they reach out to Joorney?
Yeah. Joorney.com. That's Journey with 2 O's. Don't forget. Why is it Journey with 2 O's? Because regular Journey was taken by the band. So don't stop believing. My email, mwolf@journey with 2 O's.com, is the best way to get a hold of me. But yeah, our website, journey.com, or my email address, mwolf@journey.com. And those are the best ways to get a hold of us. We are on all the socials. I'm on LinkedIn, everything. And yeah, pretty easy to find us. Journey with 2 O's. Don't forget it. It's pretty hard to forget.
And then any final words or advice for a startup?
We'll talk after this.
I suggest you email mwolf@journey.com.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's good. And we can have a nice session.